as we all know, we all are experiencing the changes, the difficulties, but as well the opportunities, yes. And in this sense is that Hecho por Nosotros and Animaná has been working in an open space of dialogue, of collaboration in order to make this journey happen, in order to experience what is sustainability, what is circularity, what means to make collaboration work. So I feel today so grateful to each of you, to all the community of Hecho por Nosotros, students, professionals, leaders, artisans, producers of natural fibers, policymakers, academics around the world that came on board all these 15 years, letting us create this alive space. And today we have another opportunity to be all together in order to transit a new stage. So my invitation is to open our hearts in order to transcend our way of thinking, our roles, our different hats that we use every day, in order to let us go through this process of collaboration, yes, of integration.
Sustainability and circularity and how it affects the fashion industry. So, I mean, I was part of that lab. I'm Tricia Langman. I'm managing partner at the Hecho por Nosotros. And basically, we have been working around sustainability for years. I've been working around it for years. It's a huge subject, but the little time we have, perhaps we can just put out the general question that I was asked and then perhaps go from there. And I think that one of the main questions was, how do we see sustainability affecting the design process, and also how does digitalization, currently affect the design process, and what it's going to look like now, what it looks like now, what it's looked like in the past, and what it's going to look like in the future. So would anybody like to take on that question? I have my select views coming from a perspective as an educator and consultant. Would anybody else like to talk about that? I mean, I know, Claudia, you made some really great observations about the fashion industry, and you touched on many subjects. So anybody would like to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I would like to start, but our questions were different, so
yes, yeah.
I'm gonna go with the prior. So they wanted me to talk about what we do. I'm from Honduras.
Okay.
And I have a patent pending for this skin.
Ooh,
it's fish
nice.
Love and that. We work with indigenous coastal communities, and we generate impactful and sustainable business models for creating and expanding entrepreneurial ecosystem hubs. So what we do is we train and we build capacities in women of coastal communities, since this skin was used to be thrown away back into the ocean, causing ocean acidification, and we convert it into a material, sustainable material, but we also produce fashion pieces.
Fantastic.
And we make shoes and we make bags, and we also sell it for other enterprises who make furniture and wall paneling. Since it's translucent, you can really see the beauty in it when you put like light in the back. And it's come to increase the coastal communities income in 38%. We work our projects with IDB labs and with NGOs all around Central America, and so that's what we do. And we're also implementing technology and AI, and we have an app that's run through Telegram, and that's to maintain and to keep building capacities and to view our processes even if we're not like really there. And so it's working really well.
Fantastic. I love I love what you do.
Thank you.
The cutting edge of biomaterials and working with waste that's in communities is just the way forward for the fashion industry. We've done a lot of work around that in our toolkit at Hecho Nosotros. So, Luna, you're back, and we have Radhika in here as well, which is great. I'm just going to talk quickly about because I know we are not much time, but I was here to talk about sustainability in the fashion industry. I think that education is the key. I work, teaching people about basically sustainability. I work with businesses. Over the last, I'd say, 10 years, a lot of it has changed. You see sustainability in curriculums, you see businesses thinking about it. There's a long, long way to go in the fashion industry, obviously, but at least there is a start, there is conversations going on, and the narrative has changed. I know some of it is greenwashing, as they say, but at least there is a conversation coming that's around that. It's very hard for a company now not to have ECG, to have a sustainability manager, or have some sort of point person in the company that deals with that. If we want to talk about how digitalization, intersects with sustainability, I think a lot of people think about technology as something to sort of speed things up in terms of business, how to make things faster, but it's been integrated into the fashion industry for a long time. We've used computer-aided design, but what we see now with AI, there's a lot of virtual prototyping and simulation that gets rid of the whole part of the supply chain, where there is a lot of sampling and back and forth with companies, with manufacturers, with designers and manufacturers. So the designers become more involved in training in terms of digitalization, learning. You'll see students learning how to, create fashion shows, create samples, all virtually, and collaborating sort of on a digital marketplace as well. So there's this whole idea that in the future there could be a whole kind of digitalized fashion supply chain for smaller brands that would work as a business model, where you're not actually producing, even when you cut something using your pattern cutting skills, you would do that all virtually to make sure there was no waste. And this could apply to both wovens and to knitwear, and so just many things like that. Things like Clothes 3D, Browseware, all of those kind of software will be, integrated into most designers' kind of toolkit as well. 3D printing, digital sketching, and data-driven design. And of course, all the augmented reality things that you get, as you can see, like with Apple Vision that they've come out with, those again will be really important. So I can see how it can help, with waste, because, circularity is part of the piece, but that needs a lot of governmental implementation. If you want the actual businesses to have make a stand in terms of sustainability and waste, you have to give them something like a digitalization strategy that can help them, because that again shows you that sustainability can be profitable. I think that the whole idea of having a circular business is very difficult for big businesses, just because of what's the infrastructure that's there at the moment. And so smaller brands could perhaps do it, but they cannot do all of the sorting and the kind of manpower it takes to sort and then create pulp and then reuse something. Even to set up a repair is really difficult. So there are many ways that we're going forward, but there's just a lot there. So if anybody else would like to take the floor and talk a little bit more about sustainability and circularity.
Yeah. Okay. So we kind of got a bit disorganized here. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So we were supposed to have a lab or a breakout room. Apparently that for technical reasons, you know, it happens every now and then. So
Yeah.
so thank you everyone for, you know, just being super supportive here and jumping in. Yes, the idea was for us to kind of give a little bit of an intro into who or what we're doing, right? Because we're coming from completely different backgrounds here. Trish is coming from super sustainable design and from luxury fashion brands to, you know, digitalization, and then Ezgi is coming more from the financial sides, and Radhika also from an from a startup creator and investor side, right? And then Pili with her amazing new brand. I mean, that's just like mind blowing. We loved the fish scale. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was to kind of warm up with a few intros. So Pili, Trish, you already gave a little bit into what you're doing. Maybe Ezgi, Radhika, you would like to maybe jump in and tell us a little bit about your background, and then
Yeah, definitely. First, I'm very excited to hear about what Trish has spoken, because most of it, and Pili Luna, and your brand is awesome. I mean, something, you know, coming from fish scales and then waste, and it's awesome. And Trish Langman, whatever she spoke, maybe in my context, I'll not speak because we are learning, but then metaverse, digital fashion, virtual trends, whatever she's doing, it's my expertise. And also, especially due to Corona, we don't want to feel it. So most of the time, it's all virtual fashion. And then you have mirrors also, even when you want to go into the retail EBO outlets, where you don't need to go and try, but then you keep it yourself, and then, you know, it happens. But today I'll not dive into it because Luna has given a specific main title. So straight away we'll go. Coming to me, I'm a serial entrepreneur in fashion industry since last 20 years. I have, you know, my strength is, apart from having my own firms, which deal with completely circularity and sustainability. Right now, I deal with a lot of fashion institutes, universities in India, and also MSMEs. So these are my strengths. I mentor a lot of you know, startups in their design. I myself is a designer. So I feel today when we're talking about sustainable circularity, it's at every level, right from the design, production, sales, and everything. So today I'm going to discuss about the digitalization and how and why it is, and what did I learn from last few years, especially in the last 10 years. Digitalization has been reshaping or influencing, and everybody has to, you know, improve it. So I've just jotted down a few points, and I just thought I'll, you know, share it with you guys. So digitalization has potential to play a crucial role in creating a more circular and sustainable fashion industry by improving traceability, promoting circular economic practices, promoting transparency, creating ethical supply chains, and optimizing operations. Digitalization integrated with blockchain can help the fashion industry to become more sustainable while meeting the needs of consumers and stakeholders. Since we have a stipulated time frame for this discussion at this event, I'd like to summarize all the activities that happen in a fashion firm, predominantly in 3 areas. So first, I would say it's the product authenticity. Second point I would like to discuss is operational excellence. And third is retail and consumer experience. So coming into the product authenticity, it starts with design, and then right from the designer and the consumer, how do they perceive and take it? So how is digitalization can be used, and how is it helping is what I want to discuss here. So product authenticity, I would say the first point is tracking and traceability. Since we are talking about circularity and sustainability, so this is very important, is tracking and traceability. And the most important thing, where you know, coming from the design background, and we are all entrepreneurs and people coming for expertise, we need to protect our intellectual property protection. So how digitalization will help in tracking and traceability and intellectual property protection is what I like to speak about. So tracking can be enabled on the garments with usage of smart tags, QR code chip embedded with blockchain, which is accessible by smartphone, where consumers can see the certificate of authenticity, detailed information about the product process, the production process, and all the persons who are involved in the process, from designer, manufacturer, supplier, retailer, etc. And most importantly, it reduces counterfeits. Traceability. Coming to traceability, digitalization integrated with blockchain can help to create a more transparent and traceable supply chain. By tracking the movement of materials and products through every stage of production process, companies can ensure that their products are ethically sourced and manufactured. This can also help the companies to identify areas of their supply chain that need improvement and implement measures to reduce their environmental impact to be more circular. Coming to the intellectual property protection, which most of the time, it is sometimes in fashion, unfortunately, we do not have so many copyright things, we cannot do it, but then we do face issues. And right now, coming on the blockchain, NFTs and things, it's getting more streamlined. So digitalization is very important in this. Digitalization through blockchain allows the ability to improve the protection of intellectual property for designers and brand owners. It can provide evidence of the creation, existence, ownership, and also play an important role within the context of copyright and unregistered design rights. In addition, anyone who grants licenses to their designs and brands will be able to use this technology to track sales and royalties. So coming to the other point is the now that finished product authenticity, I would like to talk about operational excellence. So basically in operational excellence is, I think Luna is expert in this ethical supply chain, circular, where the no wastage is involved. And so I'm going to talk very few points here. So operational excellence is the ethical supply chain. So digitalization can help to create more ethical and fair supply chains. By tracking the movement of materials and products, companies can ensure that their products are not produced using child labor, forced labor, or other unethical practices. They can help to promote fair working conditions and ensure that workers throughout the supply chain are paid fairly. And here, one more important in this operation excellence, I would say, is that minimizing excess inventory and unnecessary textile waste. That's what I said. Luna is good in that, to keep all the materials in the circular loop. So here I would say technology or the digitalization plays a very crucial and important role. The fashion industry generates vast amounts of textile waste, contributing to environmental degradation and resource depletion. If fashion has to reduce its volumes of waste, it will require closed-loop systems that keep the garments in constant circulation. To achieve this, digitalization helps not only on recyclability, but also on the ease of collecting and sorting, optimum usage of material, and energy efficient. Digitalization improves supplier ability to meet retail demand with